clad.
Unmute my microphone. I blew my transition, so I didn't think to unmute my microphone. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's working. It's fine. Worst. No sound. It's... Hi, friends! Yeah, sorry. I was getting ready to tweet. I was thinking I could sneak one tweet in before the end of the song. Didn't sneak it in. Then panicked trying to get back here. You know what? Fuck you. This is a live stream. But the thing is, if I don't tweet, nobody shows up. Although I see people on Vim, on MSP Waves, people on Twitch, people on YouTube. Thanks for watching tonight. We're going to have a chill Earth Day kind of thing. Corbin's here. Viking Adventure is here. Lots of people are here. Swoop is here. Ron is calling me the worst DJ ever, and it's the truth. Listen, my guys, I tell ya, it's... I'm trying. I recognize I'm a constant disappointment, but the reality is, streaming and doing it in a professional manner is actually ridiculously difficult. So pretend for like 1 second that I'm not trash. Okay? Okay. So happy Earth Day. Now, you know, I am going to actually fucking tweet because it'd be really cool if we got people here. I have some cool music tonight. I have some cool stuff. I see John's got a migraine. I'm sorry. I passed it on. When people ask, how do you cure a migraine? The answer is you just fucking give it to someone else. So my apologies. Now, if you guys are watching somewhere live, like on the YouTube or wherever, you will see I put an Earf on the overlay. So which is over there. Anyways, it's going to turn away. It's going to hang out. And if anybody subscribes, like Why Libertarian just did earlier, that's where it'll show up. And thank you, by the way. Why Libertarian is super fucking cool. You should go check out his channels as well. And I've done a couple interviews with him now, and it's been really fun. We've learned a lot about blockchain and, had helpful, useful, cool conversations. Not what we're going to do tonight. So, listen, I want to hear about what's going on in your life. I want to know if you guys are getting out and about and enjoying the beauty of nature. I'm going to give it a couple seconds for people to wander in. And I am going to tweet because I need help and validation to get people in here. I don't know what it is, but man, oh man, the last couple shows I've blown it. And Steven, I see you again. Hi, welcome back. So let's take a quick peek here. Let's take a quick peek and try to make a tweet. So there's a lot of directions that I could have gone with today's show. Let's be very, very realistic. Earth Day, everybody thinks of Greta, and I thought briefly of playing the Greta death metal again. I was this close. But instead I thought, well, there are plenty of celebrities who want to lecture us on climate change, and I think we're all fucking sick of that. Hey, Swoop! Yeah. Nature is one of those weird outside things. Well, actually, I was really lucky. Viking Adventure and I went for a hike this last weekend. It's been beautiful here in Vancouver. I can't show you guys, but trust me, there is a vista of unparalleled beauty in front of me. I'm the best potato. Thank you. Potatoes also grow in the ground. It's very Earth Day centric. But so, there's plenty of celebrities that want to lecture you about climate change, and Greta wants to yell at you. And, it's one of those topics that gets people really fucking feisty really quick. But what I will say for any of you who may be listening is that you can always take a little better care of the planet. Don't worry about climate change. Don't worry about the rest of that. Just think about not throwing your shit on the ground. Not running your car in front of, I don't know, fucking wherever you happen to be pulled over for like 2 hours while you're not driving it. Little things. Be cool to the planet because the planet's cool to you. So rather than get you lectured with a bunch of really mean songs, because they exist, and there are quite a few bands that write music specifically. Don't buy plastic water bottles. Agreed. Drink out of a reusable water bottle, which I've actually left mine downstairs, which is bad. I'm going to need it. Lots of stuff like that. Just you do you. You do you, boo. Save some money, save the planet, etc., etc. So after this, I'm going to teach you how to be a good person. I don't know how to do that. we'll figure it out together, maybe? Question mark? But, so, yeah, we could have gone the super lecture route. We could have been, like, very, how dare you? That's Greta. That's death metal Greta. How dare you? We could be. But you know what? This world has enough of that. You're being nagged enough. There's enough weighing on your shoulders. There's a lot going on. So tonight, I thought I would focus on tracks that have something to do with parts of nature that just like blow my fucking mind. Because we live on the most incredible tiny spinning marble flying through space. And it's beautiful. And there are incredible things on this planet. And music and you are just some of them. So instead of kind of picking up some of the like, woo, space! Hi, Lacey. Krim got a Karen haircut. Yeah, well, you know. Apparently, is it just that you're looking at my, oh yes, my other plant, yes. No, sometimes my hair looks short. It's just in a ponytail. You're fine. We're fine. We're all fine here. Corbin's great advice is that you should bury your spare parts as fertilizer. We've talked about this before on the show, talking about what you want to do. What you want to do with your dead body. And you could be a mushroom. I wouldn't mind being a giant mushroom colony, or they could put you in a pod and then you become a tree. So yeah, listen, nature is fucking metal, man. Death and decay, nature is completely metal. Tell your plants you love them. Yeah, I have plants everywhere. I got plants up there. I got plants down here. I got a bouquet of flowers back there. I got a calathea right there. I got plants all over my fucking desk. And in fact, I have one of Viking Adventurer's presents. He's going to be in the tweet when I do it. He lives here on my desk. Listen, there are fucking plants everywhere. Don't even worry about it. So that's what tonight is. Tonight is I'm going to play a bunch of music written about the majesty of the forest and the depths of the ocean. Ron says, potato is plant, Krim is potato, Krim is plant. That's actually pretty fucking accurate, to be quite honest. That makes solid sense to me. I can't find fault with that logic. I'd love to be a plant, frankly. I mean, arguably, we are just plants, aren't we? We're just ugly bags of mostly water. Yeah, being a plant would actually arguably be better. So listen, let's get this tweet out. Let's start with that. All right, come hang with me and my plants before the lights go out for Earth Day. Should I hashtag it? Guys, I'm fucking shit at social media, but let's just do it. Before the lights go out for Earth Day. God, it's gonna be rough. I don't even have booze in me yet. Let's see. Heavy metal from the forests. Guys, am I killing it? Am I good at social media yet? Heavy metal from the forests on Fullforce Radio starts now. And then we'll go fullforce.rocks because that's the website. All right, there we go. So now you're here. You saw it. I did it. I did the thing. And we can pretend that I don't suck at this. Also, I want to get you guys' opinions on some stuff before we start with the music. And then I promise I will make you happy. So, since last week, one of the things, hopefully this tweet goes, one of the things that I have been focused on, whether you have not, that's exactly it. That's why you drink alcohol and save water. Ain't that the fucking truth? And you leveled outside of a show. Yeah, I did see it. I did see. So, yeah, you know, when do the lights go out? Whenever you want. Whenever you want. Hey, Qua's here. I've missed you. Qua feels bad for me because nobody shows up for my shows anymore. But it looks like a couple of you are definitely going to tag me tonight. If you level up in my chat, I will happily take a drink. So let's circle back around. Let's circle back around. I got lots of stuff to show you guys, but one thing that I want to show you lovely friendos is that I have been working on creating better thumbnails, better images, better things for all of the social media, knowing that that's part of the sort of what grabs people's eyeballs. And so in the preparation for getting the podcast ready, I have started updating Spotify covers. And so from last week, if you were here, we tried to have a migraine-friendly show, but we fell into the vagina void. That was last week's show. And so if you actually take a look at the thumbnail on YouTube or Twitch, or you take a look at the Spotify playlist, and I'll drop this in chat for those of you who don't run out and look, I have jumped on the trendy bandwagon, and I am now creating sort of the standard social media thumbnails. So I'm impressed by this. I'm impressed by this. It takes me a ton of work, and actually I didn't get a chance to do any of the things that I wanted to in prep for this week. Oh, God. What is your problem? What is your problem? All right, 2 out of 10. Fair enough. Ron's not happy with my tweet. But so, yes, exactly. Outlines. So YouTube. I'm with Julia. So if you take a look at this terrible fucking thumbnail I made, it's very other social media. But at the same time, hey, if it's gonna fucking work, that's what I'm gonna do. God damn it. So hi, everybody's. Who's joining us? Let's do some goddamn forest metal tonight. What's on the docket? There is a lot of Canadian metal, because it turns out that this country is mostly forests and mountains. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you guys. I don't know if you've ever looked at an aerial view of Canada. Canadian artists writing a lot of black metal, a lot of folk metal. They talk about the woods, they talk about the mountains, they talk about the trees, they talk about the ocean. And the other group that is very good at this are basically everybody in Norway around the beginnings of black and death metal. So when we talk a little bit about everything that was happening in sort of the birth of metal over across the way in the 90s, as the satanic panic took root and the church burnings were, well, I was going to say getting on like a house on fire, there was a couple different themes to the metal that was going on over there. And it wasn't just death and decay, but it was also the power of nature, trees, the murderous winters, basically the murderous winters. So I have got a couple of 90s, like late 90s, grandfathered in metal bands. I've got a bunch of weird, cool forest metal from across Canada. We'll try and get as much... I gotta drink. Steven has a level, but I don't have alcohol down here. So after my after the first song starts, I will take the headphones off. I will run downstairs and I will grab a beer or something, because that's shameful. I'll grab, actually, I've got my whiskey glass ready up here. I will go and grab myself just a glass of vodka. That's what we'll do. All right, so how dare you? I know. I finished my bourbon and I've been working all week. All right. Oh, okay. And my mom, oh my God, my mom's being useless and she's texting me. She knows very well that I'm on air. All right, not the bullet glass. No, the set of bullet glasses is downstairs. So I have crystal glasses when I'm not using the bullet glasses. So let's start, because we're like 15 minutes into the show. I got good music for you. You're here to see what's going on, probably just to make fun of me. And I need to keep you entertained, because again, it saddens me how few people show up for my show these days, and I'm not sure what I've done to offend you. Maybe you've all got the lights turned off and you're romantically humming metal to yourself in the dark, but if that's the case, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because I have metal that you won't have to hum to yourself. All right, so let's take a boo at what is on the list tonight. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff, and we'll kind of have to bounce back and forth. We'll see where you guys are at and what you are feeling might be a thing that you want to include. But I want to start off with Oh, it's gonna go downhill, friends. I know it. No, Mom! Yeah, that comes up a lot. I'm always chasing my mom away. Hey, Mr. Meeseeks, I haven't seen you in ages. Good to see you, my man. I'm going to start off with a track by Carpathian Forest. Now, Carpathian Forest is one of those bands that really is like a black metal essential. And so if you have ever kind of wondered to yourself, do I really listen to black metal? Do I really understand black metal? Am I true cult enough? Carpathian Forest would be right the fuck up there at the top of the list. So they started off in like, I don't know, the early 90s, like 92, 93. And as the sort of crescendo of violence and black metal and, sort of all of the waves of insanity rolled across Europe, they released probably their most famous album in 1997? 1997? Question mark? Let's just check before I talk out my ass. 1998. And I'm going to play you a track from that album. It's called Black Shining Leather. Now, most of you don't give a fuck about any of the background information, but this track is one of the sort of groups that at this time were starting to really change what black metal was going to become. So black metal through the early 90s and, especially during the time of the church burnings, the mid 90s, was dark and hateful and angry and the sounds of winter and kind of sparse and all of the things that we fucking love about metal. But there were some bands that in that time I'm definitely not going to play Pig Destroyer. I'm sorry. And the more you ask, it'll never happen. But there were some bands at that time, and especially black metal bands, who started looking at pulling in some more sounds and pulling in some more kind of atmospheric and gothic kind of ideas. And a lot of them would only just tack them on at the end of the album. They'd make a true cult album, and then if you stuck it out right to the last track of the album, you would get something incredible. Now, I have two of these bands on the playlist tonight. I've got Carpathian Forest and I've got Windeer, and I've played both for you before. But Carpathian Forest made this killer album, Black Shining Leather, and it's guttural and it's black and it's everything that you expect. However, the last track on the album is called A Forest. Carpathian Forest, A Forest. You can see where it fits into tonight's show. And this had tinges of what became glam and goth and sort of some of the more melodic metal that we're seeing, out of the late 2000s and even now. So I want to play this because it is cool and interesting and completely different than most of the music that they put out. And it's a perfect fit for tonight's show. Listen, my name is Crimson Clad. This is Fullforce Radio. It's a whole lot of fun. We play metal. We talk shit. We hang out and chat. I'm going to run downstairs to get myself some alcohol to make sure you assholes are happy. Oh, Pig might be alive. Crim is like a hot Anna Faris from Canada, but more thick. Okay. The only reason that I read this out, because I find it very embarrassing when people compliment me, but the only reason I read this out is because Anna Faris is, if she's thinking of who I'm thinking of, is Anna Faris the one that kind of looks like a rat? I'll tell you who I'm thinking about. I'm going to put this track on. I'm going to run and get some alcohol. You are going to see the planet turning on the overlay tonight. I see people on YouTube. I see people on Twitch. I see people on Vim. Wherever you may be, this is Fullforce Radio. I hope you enjoy the music that I have planned for you this evening. And you should turn this up. It's weird. It's good. It's a perfect start to Fullforce Radio. Hopefully more people are joining us. Thank God. Makes me feel like I'm slightly less of a fuck up. I'm glad. God, the core crew. What would I do without you? So listen, it's not that bad. There's quite a few of you tonight. I'm so stoked to have you. I see people are listening on the website, watching on the website, Vim, Twitch, YouTube, Trovo, fucking wherever, man. I'm glad to have you. Vim TV, obviously, I'm a little biased towards. It's a fabulous decentralized option. I owe you a drink. I have a bottle of water and a glass of vodka. A glass of vodka and soda. And we're going to get messy tonight, kids. So, cheers. Cheers to Steven. I have a pizza. The dog is here. He has joined us. If you want to know why he's joined us because I have a pizza. So I will continue to feed him small bits of cheese and dance with him as is necessary. Wow, he had to take a long time to think about that. So, yeah, that particular weird / cool track. What's Trovo? Trovo is like a mobile streaming. It's mobile focused, but it's a streaming site that anyone can use. So here's the deal, my friends. That track, if you remember, there was one night where we actually delved a little bit. Hey, Dicted is here. That's really cool. I like it when the celebs come out to see me. Ooh, that vodka. But if you remember, there was a night where I talked a little bit about, some of the sort of pop goth influences that actually had a lot of impact on a lot of the artists that were making metal music in the 90s. And so you want to lie on Crim's couch while she feeds you cheese. I want to lie on my couch and somebody feed me cheese. We can take turns. You come up here and we'll take turns at the cheese station. So welcome to Fullforce Radio. My name is Crimson Glad. And tonight I am celebrating Earth Day. The best you could do is potatoes. Potato slaves, cheese slaves. Listen, I am all for women doing it for themselves, but at the end of the day, I will never say no to somebody bringing me food. So if you, hey Gabriel, hi. If you remember, I talked a little bit about some of the 80s new wave that really had sort of an influence on a lot of the artists who started making what became death metal and even extreme metal. And so one of those bands is Sisters of Mercy, and I remember the first time I played this Corrosion for you guys, and everybody was like, oh, what is this? And then everybody was like, oof, oof, doo, doo, doo. Like, it just became like a dance-off, a pants-off dance-off, and there was a lot going on in new wave and goth that, whether you like it or not, really, really, really influenced black metal musicians, and you can hear some of those cues again in some of the music that I'm gonna be playing for you guys tonight. And that is a track that absolutely has some Sisters of Mercy kind of sound, goth, like electro pop in it. Now, for those of you who are watching and just joining, hello. And if you're hanging out in the Discord, let me show you, just in case you're wondering, when I say Carpathian Forest is like your classic black metal band, let me show you just a brief snip of what they tend to look like. Let me paint you a picture. Hey there, hi Cly. Shane has joined us for he already missed the one song that he would like. But there you go. Oops, sorry, I'm closing the snip. They were some of the pioneers of corpse paint. They were the long-haired intellectual nerds running around the forest, like, that gif, of all of them running around in the snow, like fucking with the... This is that. This is black metal of the blackest kind. And yet, you get some of these songs that are tinged with pop and goth elements and became a part of the soundscape moving forwards. But I love that track. It is everything that... Play the Shane song again. Nope, moving on. Sorry. It is everything that I like to think of when I think of all the reasons that I love nature. I love dark, misty forests. I like exploring, and I love the feeling of getting lost in trees bigger than I am. And so, of course, let's have a song about following a spooky lady into the woods and being lost forever in the mists. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, so we'll keep moving on. We'll keep doing the thing. I have more and more people jumping in. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for taking pity on me. A streamer here on Earth Day. Now, I want to know if any of you guys, talking heads ask. Sure. No, Shane can't stick it out, and it's okay. It's all right. Only some of you are tough enough, even though tonight's music isn't actively super tough. I want to know, are you guys doing anything for Earth Day? Have you been hanging out outside? Do you do the forest bathing thing? Tell me a little bit about what's going on for you, because obviously, like I say, I don't want to get into a knockdown, drag out climate change fight, but at the same time, I love hearing stories, seeing your photos, and kind of living vicariously through you. And right now, basically, all that we possibly can do is, what's the carbon footprint of my streams? Well, right now it's not awesome because I have all my lights on. But afterwards, I am going to eat dinner by candlelight. And by dinner, I mean the rest of this pizza that I have just kicking around. Now, let's continue on, because I do want to play you guys some good music tonight. I don't want to be an aggro and eat on stream. This is not ASMR. This is not... I learned the other day that there's an entire category on Twitch called social eating, which is you sit down with all your friends and fans and people and you eat and you talk to them and they talk to you, and then that's the whole thing. We're not going to do that tonight. So moving on down the list, I was looking at a bunch of tracks from from Borknagar, and there's a couple of reasons that they are connected. Originally, the first lineup for Carpathian Forest from that album, Black Shining Leather, one of the founding members actually ended up leaving the band after that album, and they moved on to become Borknagar. And so there's a lot of incestuousness in early black metal bands from Norway. But Borknagar is a band that I've played for you guys many, many times. I'm a huge, huge fan. I love them very much. Now, as far as a Norwegian group that started out as black metal, they've moved a little bit further towards melodeath or even a bit of progressive metal. But this band is all about nature. Every track that they make, every album that they make. I don't think Cly's actually listening. I think he's just hopping on in. And Forknagar, that would be good, actually. I think he's just hopping on in and chatting, which I accept. If that's what you want to do, hey, you're part of the stream too. You're allowed to lurk. But so, with that being, yes, Shane, you fucker, stop spoiling my playlist. I am going to play the trees, but that's more of a cautionary tale, and that's coming up a little later in the show. You asshole. But either that, we also think alike. So I'm going to play this Borknagar track, and there's a couple reasons for it, because all of their albums basically focus around nature. All of them are very specifically about the positive and powerful aspects of nature, of mountains, of rushing rapids, of trees bigger than you, and how tiny and insignificant you are on the face of this planet. And it's beautiful stuff. So most recently, I've been playing a lot of the late 2000s music for you. I've played stuff off Winter Thrice. I've played things off True North. But I thought, let's go digging all the way back. Let's go all the way back to basically around the same time as that last album. Let's go back to the late 90s in Norway. Let's listen to some cool metal about nature. And so I'm going to play you a track off an album called The Archaic Course. Now, whether you care about that or not, whatever, put the good music in your ears, because let's face it, nobody cares. Everybody's fucking here. Everybody's here to troll me. And let's see. Oh, about my Twitch eating thingy. Okay, so you are watching, or you're not watching? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It wasn't a spoiler till you spoiled it. I know, but you said it, and I had to acknowledge it. I had to let you know because you're going to leave. Hey, El Gecko! I had to let you know that, yes, you absolutely did select one of the songs that I selected. All right. So I'm going to play this Borknagar track. It's called Ocean's Rise. And, well, I could have put a lot of really, like, fucking shame on you, you're a bad person, like, the planet is melting, blah, blah, blah. We could have gone that route, but we're not gonna tonight. I'm going to play you this track. It's called Ocean's Rise, but it's not necessarily about global warming. It is about the powerful nature of the ocean. Damn, nature, you scary! And we'll just leave Greta out of it. Lord knows she gets enough attention. So, listen, my name is Crimson Clad. This is Fullforce Radio. It is a very special Earth Day edition. I am playing nature-inspired metal. I put an Earth on the overlay, for God's sakes. It's just sitting there turning sadly. Is it even turning? Turn, little Earth, turn. Earth? Oh, Earth is frozen. Oh, no, it's not. It's just turning really slow. See? There it is. How can you sleep while your beds are burning? Not so great, not so eco-friendly, agreed, Corbin. But also, how can you sleep while the Earth is turning? How can you sleep while Full Force Radio is on? You can't. So, we're going to drink, we're going to listen to good metal, and then we'll see how long Shane lasts. I suspect not too long. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Here's Ocean's Rise. It's a band called Borknagar. My name is Crimson Clad. This is Full Force Radio. There you go. A track, Early Borknagar. Now, it scared Shane away. It looks like the rest of you guys made it through that. Now, that album, again, all about all about nature. But a band that has gone on to be, honestly, one of the most polished and beautiful and intricate and kind of renowned for doing this sort of positive nature metal that basically exists now. And the album that they put out, 2019, True North? Oh my god, I'm blanking. What the fuck? Guys! Yeah, True North, 2019. It was on my best of list that year. And arguably, incredible sounding stuff. And it's come such a long way. And yet, at the same time, the roots are still all there in this music. So, if you're asking, the dog, you can't see him. He's looking very sad. Also, if you noticed, I fed him some pizza and then he slobbered on my hand, so I wiped it on him. He's going to the spa tomorrow. So, yeah, that is the first little bit of our 90s way back, blayback that we're going to do tonight for our nature metal, whatever, nature metal madness. But you can now say, if you want to go out and, I would say impress your friends, but it probably won't impress your friends, but it could. If you want to go out there and and tell your friends that you are a true fucking cult and that you listen to the birth of Norwegian black metal, corpse paint and all, Carpathian Forest and Borknagar were right there at the start of it all, and so were you now. All right, so we're going to keep moving on. We're going to keep doing fun stuff. We're going to hang out. I'm going to play you a bunch of metal that's essentially inspired by forests and mountains and trees and oceans and all of the things that feel so inspiring and terrifying and amazing to all of us when we're out in nature. Because you know what? Earth Day is always like, don't be shitty. And yeah, don't be shitty. But like I said, we need a little more positivity in our lives. So let's celebrate our beautiful little spinning blue marble instead. I trust that you guys will behave very nicely later on. So I see lots of people watching, listening on the Wave site, and the only people that I can't see or interact with easily unless you say hi are the people watching on Theta. So if you are on Theta, throw something in the chat. And in fact, if you are listening or watching from anywhere, talk in the chat. It's all about community here. And also, according to Ron, I'm very jealous of his crowds and I need validation. So validate away by chatting with each other. So, on that note, let us continue on. Let's keep going. I've got more music for you. I want to put it in your ears. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to try and move us in a slightly different direction. I am going to play some Gojira. Now, Gojira is one of those bands, 1000%, that has some very "you're a naughty human" kind of tracks. They have some songs. Crowd envy, I do. Ron has big crowds. You don't remember saying that? Yeah, you did. And I, it was last week while I had my migraine and I was like, oh, I can't play with you tonight because I wasn't in a good, no, just chat. You don't actually have to validate me. But Jesus Christ. I regret saying anything. But if you ever want to grow a thick skin, and decide whether or not your sense of humor is good, start live streaming and then just see what fucking happens. So listen, I want to play some fucking music. I am going to play some Gojira. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are some bands who are like, climate change is bad, you're bad, everyone is bad, we're all bad, fuck you. And Gojira is one of them. They literally have, you know, entire albums about rising oceans and the whales that inherit the earth and, you know, whatever. And they actually have a song that I'm pretty sure is called Toxic Garbage Island, which is legitimately just about how much fucking crap we throw away, which is fair. And in the middle of the song, he even just yells, "Plastic bag!" And I thought about playing that tonight. I did think about playing that tonight. However, doesn't fit with what we're doing here. doesn't quite match up with the goal. Now, Gojira have been releasing a steady stream of new tracks, some great stuff, and I've been playing that for you too. So it's a good time for me to kind of split the difference. We won't go all the way back. I won't have Gojira yell at you about plastic bags, but I won't play the brand new stuff either. I'm going to play you a track from an album called Magma, which is from 2015 or 2016. Let me check. 2016. And so if you've been hiding under a rock, you may have noticed there's some cool fucking shit going on right now. There's some cool fucking shit going on in Iceland. And that is, you know, a place that is obviously, you know, an island that has been formed by volcanic activity, as most islands are. And there have been some incredible fissures that have opened up. They are leaking magma. They're leaking liquid hot magma everywhere. And it's incredible. It's some of the most beautiful, like, images you will see. It's like real life, super inspirational, gorgeous, and amazing Mount Doom. The dog keeps grumbling at me. I don't know if you guys can hear him. And so let's just kind of recognize that, you know, outside of the fact that if it lands on any of these people who are with their selfie sticks right there waiting and willing to have a blob of magma just land on them and literally burn them into ash where they stand, that it's pretty fucking amazing. So I picked a track by Gojira called Magma. It's not necessarily written about lava, but it's also talking a little bit about the feelings that kind of well up in you. So you know what? Fuck it. It fits tonight's playlist. It's a good option. And also the track is pretty killer. So for all of you who are jumping in right now, hi, this is Fullforce Radio. It's an Earth Day edition. We won't be going super long because it's kind of shitty to be like, celebrate Earth Day, and then turn on every fucking LED light in the house and stream at like high resolution. But we gotta get together for a little bit. These are the days of our lives, and you're all my buds, and you're here sharing this little spinny blue marble with me. So let's play some fucking music. Let's have a good time, and let's Nerdtopia DE. Hey, it's cool that you're joining us. Thanks, man. All right, so let's do the thing. Let me play this track for you. We'll kind of move on. We'll try and make sure we call Shane back. Don't do it yet. He won't like this. But we'll call Shane back before the rush. I have still got some Finsterforce. I have Devin Townsend Project. I have Throssenblatt, maybe August Burns Bread. We'll see how much time we've got for tonight. And we will be here in the forests, in the plants. We are but plants ourselves. It's Fullforce Radio. These tracks that don't start right away make me feel like an idiot. love me some fucking Gojira. All right, so hey, listen, this is Fullforce Radio. My name is Crimson Clad, and every week at about this time, I play heavy metal, I talk shit, and I create some fun shows to put some new and old and well-beloved music in your ears. So, if you're hanging out with me tonight, big thanks. I'm glad you're here. It's kind of an Earth Day edition. I see a bunch of you chilling on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you might be. Say hi wherever the chat is. I would love to chat with you. I can see you, bitches. But so yeah, there you go. I popped a link in chat. It's not even a very good article. I don't know. It's just some broad wrote it. But that first image caught my eye like nobody's business. R1 writer, you're late. You are. You are late, but it doesn't matter because I'm still going for another hour. Now, for those of you who are chatting in the Discord, I will throw this out there quickly. If you're chatting in the Discord, we have a really cool subscribe command. It looks like, hang on uno momento, it looks like this. Subscribe. There you go. And if you do that, then the bot will pop up. And it doesn't because I did it through the Restream service, but the bot will pop up if you're in Discord. It'll allow you to put a role on yourself. And all that means is when I go live, you'll get a ping and you will know, and you can come running in here and you'll never miss a show. But you know, you do you. Everybody is saying that I have to start pushing subscriptions more to all of the services. I don't fucking care. Hang out what's cool. You know, hang out where you want to hang out. Be wherever is cool to you. Have a good time. Watch where you want. Choose decentralized solutions if you can. I don't fucking know. All right. So with all that being said, I'm happy you're here. I am playing a random assortment. A random assortment of naturey styled metal. And so we've already been talking about the forests and the oceans and the trees and the rocks and the wind and the waves, but I've got more music for you like that tonight. So I've already done the wander across Norway during the 90s. We've kind of moved back to North America, more recent music, and I actually do have a couple more little things for you. Now, originally, I was actually going to play you a track called Earth Day. It's off a really cool Devin Townsend Project Live album. And I mean, it's literally called Earth Day. It's not actually about what you think it is. It's off an album. It's off a really cool album also from 2016. And it's basically Z2 at the Royal Albert Hall. And what that is the whole sort of Ziltoid space progressive rock metal opera live. Well, the only thing is it's really long and there's quite a bit of filler, and it's not the super best quality recording, but it's one of the only ways that you'd actually hear this track, and it's super cool, and it's basically talking about humanity's place in the solar system, and it's a fucking awesome track talking about them big old, the arrogant worms. That's right. Yeah, Ziltoid. I'm not actually going to play it though. But I am going to play some Devin Townsend Project because I love Devin Townsend. And I did briefly think about some of the tracks that I could play for him because Ocean Machine, Ghost, what else? Transcendence. He loves to play and write music inspired by nature and by the majesty of our planet and all the fucking wacky shit that goes on around it. But I was thinking what I might actually play for you guys is another live track. It's called Canada. And I may have played it for you guys before. Stop making up words. Ziltoid. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the deal. You can look it up. But Devin Townsend put together this insane version of like a space rock opera. And he actually had like this Ziltoid puppet made and the production, just ridiculous. And the Ziltoid days were a little rough because he was already starting to bald, but he was also rocking these really bad dreadlocks. And everything about it was not good. But I digress. So, I mean, there's a lot of Devin Townsend music that could fit here. And a lot of it is, you know, prog leaning. And he does a lot of acoustic shows right now. But he is just finishing a couple new albums. And I'm really excited to kind of go through those with you when they're released. I'm super, super stoked for them. However, we're going to go back. And this track called Canada is something that he wrote, obviously, about living here. And in fact, literally living across the river from me. I can't quite see it, but literally just living right across the river here. And talking a little bit about what makes this giant, environmentally rich country great. So I thought I'd put that in tonight. Yeah, just rocks and trees, bro. Rocks and trees. But then we will come back and we'll move into some other stuff. And if Shane does want to stick around, this is a longer track. But if Shane sticks around, then I will absolutely play The Rush. Because fuck it, I told you, there's a lot of nepotistic Canadian bullshit on the playlist tonight. Our country is big. It's big and it's full of nature. There's not actually that many Canadians here. It's mostly trees. Santa play this track for you, and then we'll come back. I'm just debating if I'm actually gonna play this whole track because I'm looking at the time. We're already halfway through the show. How did this happen? How did this happen, friends? Why don't we play Storm Bending instead? I'm thinking about this in terms of getting all of the music that I want to get in. So why don't we do Storm Bending, and I'll save Canada for later. In fact, I actually might have played it on the Canada Day show. I'll have to go back and check. We'll do Storm Bending. It's a little shorter. It's a little louder. It's weird. It's cool. It's progressive. It's perfect for Full Force. And, you know, it still kind of fits in with tonight's theme. I don't know about you, but I love a good storm. I am not one of those people who hates the rain and thunder and all of the bullshit. I'm definitely a big fan of storms. So there you go. All right. Sorry, Shane. No boomer music. Well, I don't care. Rush is my music, and I am not a boomer yet. So shut up. Okay, boomer. Let's do the thing, guys. I will leave the Earth Day track in the playlist. So for those of you who want extra listening, it'll be there in the Spotify playlist later on if you want to check it out. My name is Crimson Clad. We're halfway through the show, but I got an hour left of good, interesting, foresty, magical, environmental metal for you coming up. Play! the intensely long, convoluted outro. It's very Devin Townsend. There you go. It's a track called Storm Bending. It's actually a little bit more to do with the raging emotions inside of you as much as it is the raging landscape around you. Hey, Crystal, never apologize for being late. I see lots of people jumping in here in the Discord. I haven't said hi to Clay yet. Many of you hopping in and out. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out with me today. This is the Fullforce Radio Earth Day edition. So, yeah, that wasn't bad at all. You know, it's funny because on any other day, Shane, I probably have a ton of music that you'd enjoy. You and I actually really do have some overlap in our tastes. But I do very truly love metal, and you don't, and there our road in the woods converges. No, converges is to come together. Diverges, and I take the road less traveled. You take the other road less traveled down into like the weird, really weird esoteric 80s stuff, and I take the road less traveled down into the really weird esoteric metal stuff, and that's why we're friends, and I appreciate you. Seriously, I do. All right, so, hey. Yes! So, it's good to see you. Nine is back. No, I was just saying I've missed many of you, so it's always good when I see you show up. I'm glad to have you guys tonight. We're having a fun time. We are playing metal tracks inspired by nature. We started off with some of the 90s black metal, true cult, intense death pop. And we've moved forward through a bunch of cool stuff in the late 2000s with Devin Townsend and with Gojira and everything that's going on. And so I did actually promise to play a song tonight. Shane is here. I will play it. He guessed because he does know my tastes. And I will have it. And it's not metal at all, but it's a perfect fit. Hello, Eileen. Hi, guys. I'm glad to have you. So we will play some Rush. It's not metal, but it doesn't matter because these are the bands that shaped where metal is now. And actually, people like Devin Townsend were absolutely born and raised on Rush. And, you know, most prog metal bands can point right back to the first time they heard something like YYZ or the entire 2112 album, and they're like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And so, you know, here we are listening to all sorts of weird shit. So we will listen to some Rush. Now, for those of you who are just hanging out, and we're not doing as much chatting tonight in terms of bullshit, because last week I had a migraine, and so we were trying to have a slower, chiller show, and we ended up talking about the call of the vagina again, and everybody fell into the vagina void because, you know, let's be realistic, it may not even just be a My Show thing, it might just be an MSP Waves thing, where we consistently just descend back into talking about genitalia. We do our best, but we can't resist, just fall right in there. But that being said, I've got the big shiny Earth up on the overlay. I have all your beautiful faces hanging out with me, and I am going to play some more music. Now, coming up, I've been making a lot of promises lately about working on things, changing things, developing things. I've been talking to a bunch of you about feedback. How do I make a better show? Because for a lot of you, you guys like to come to the shows that are mostly talk. Well, the reality is my show isn't mostly talk. It sometimes is, but there's music too. And I always want to make sure that you're entertained, you're enjoying yourself, you're having a fun time. So we're building as we go. And I showed you guys earlier the new, like, trendy, everybody's fucking doing them social media thumbnails. I'm working on those to try and lure more of you in here. And I see you over there on YouTube. So I'm working on it. Yeah, you know, the reality is I'm not necessarily going to play by any of the rules of these popular streaming platforms. But at the same time, I am going to do what I can to kind of lure more people into the depths of our ridiculous little community here. With that being said, one of the cool things that I am excited about is for the longest time, I have been streaming in quasi HD. The camera's okay. The quality's okay. For those of you who watch, you know, you see enough that you can't look away. It's like a train wreck. But I do have a brand new mirrorless DSLR coming next week. So that's going to be really exciting. The overlay may have to change to accommodate it. I might make myself even bigger It's 95% talk and 5% goat yodeling. There is actually goat metal, by the way. There's goat metal, there's dog metal, there's parrot metal. There's literally, it's called Hatebeak, actually. It's a band called Hatebeak, and their lead singer is a parrot. But I digress. So yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff coming. Lots of new fun things to see. Either that or you're going to be like, holy fuck, we don't need 4K HD fucking 60 frames per second like Crim. Nobody needs that. And I agree. So, with all that being said, more people are hopping in, more people are coming to hang out. Things are ridiculous. Crim's Tasty Meat. Oh, yeah. I was like, wow, what is that? But yes, there is a delicious, beautiful Wagyu beef. Kind of fatty, marbled, delicious thing. It's not Wagyu, but it's, I don't know, it's some local Wagyu-esque thing. I don't know. It's fucking Hopcott Farms. But anyways, doesn't matter. All right, listen. Getting off topic. I want to play you guys a track by Rush. Now, Rush has a lot of songs that are absolutely proto-metal. 100%. But they have one song that is this weird, interesting, cautionary tale about being human. And it's not about humans at all. It's a track called The Trees. Now, I very much love this particular track. And it's interesting because for a lot of people, they didn't hear it where maybe people like Shane and I heard it. It's off an album called Hemispheres, which is a great album. It's just a little shorty. It's from the late 70s, 1978 or 9. It's got La Villa Strangiato on it. It's a great little like album that has like 4 tracks. But the reason that a lot of people actually know of this, and it's probably more tits and travel. Yeah, and I will be doing tits and traveling. Oh God, these are terrible. Thank you for nothing, chat. The images that are flying around. God. Let me finish telling you about Rush. For a lot of you, and in ways that are absolutely going to trigger Shane, you will have heard this song as part of a downloadable Rush pack for Rock Band. I'm pretty sure it's Rock Band. Or Guitar Hero. It's probably Rock Band. There was, in the early aughts or whatever, Rock Band was a thing. Did you guys ever play Rock Band? Now, some of you might remember Guitar Hero. It was a tiny plastic guitar. You know, you had fucking Dragon Force or whatever. You had like Through the Fire and Flames. And that was the whole video game. Was you with your tiny little guitar clicking some buttons. And it was obnoxious, but it was fun. And that took off, and people went apeshit for it. Well, then, that's true. You know what? I just meant mostly because the actual thing was Rock Band. Not necessarily that you heard it from a video game, because video game soundtracks are art a lot of the time. But it was from, like, Rock Band. In which case, sometimes I'm like, ooh. But Rock Band is the same thing, except instead of having just the clicky guitar, you also had a drum set, and you had 2 guitars, and you had a drum set, and you had a singer. Now, I will say, if you were ever annoyed by the stupid clicky guitar, the Rock Band drum set is the most ridiculous thing on the planet. You would 1000% trigger the absolute face off of anyone near you, because it's not a real drum set. It's just, they're not even practice pads. They're these plastic things, and you're just smashing them like a monkey, and nobody, oh God. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I will say, if you want a little bit of MSP Waves history, if you want a little tidbit, look at everybody's blaming me for the crypto being red. Fox comes in, Clay comes in, everybody's like, fuck you. I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you with green in the middle. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. So a little bit of MSP Waves tidbits before I start this track. And I'm going to sing it at the top of my lungs. I'll turn my mic off, I promise. But if you know the words, you should karaoke along. It's a gooder. There was a gentleman who many of you might actually know from around the blockchain, but he used to have a show. And it was the Scaredy Cat Guide to Investing, the music and money show with Scaredy Cat Guide. Now, Scaredy Cat Guide, back in the day, we're talking about people who rock banded and guitar heroed like a crazy person. Scaredy Cat Guide actually traveled all over America and was paid to play like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. That was his jam. That was a job that he did. He was like a hype kid, and he actually traveled all over the States partying and playing musical video games. So he'll kill me. I'm sorry, Mitch. But now you know. All right, so I'm going to play you this track. It is a classic Rush track. It is a commentary on human nature, but it's also a commentary on nature. It's a perfect fit for tonight for our Earth Day edition of Full Force Radio. It's a gooder from an album called Hemispheres. It is The Trees by Rush.
There is unrest in the forest, there is trouble with the trees, for the maples want more sunlight and the oaks ignore their pleas. Trouble with the maple
All right, there you go. A classic track by Rush called The Trees. So there was a little bit of chatting going on there. And so, Rush is one of those bands that can be very divisive because a lot of people love their like fucking killer drums. Neil Peart, like the GOAT, man. And Alex Lifeson, incredible guitar. Geddy, awesome on bass. But Geddy's voice can be real problematic for a lot of people. So, small doses if you're not sure how you're going to react. And there are some really fabulous instrumental tracks, experimental tracks. There's a lot that you can listen to in the Rush discography that if you're not a huge fan of Geddy's voice, that's okay. Now, so just to kind of throw this out there, and I'm going to try not to get too diverted, but Clyde was saying, they must have been on some crazy drugs to write some of this music. And if you, especially La Villa Strangiato or 2112, if you listen to these lyrics and you see these incredible like soundscapes and these wild stories that are written to go along with these songs, you might believe that. But a lot of the writing was done by Neil Peart, and he was not on drugs, actually. He was this incredible poet and writer and artist, and he wrote these really cerebral, intellectual type songs. And yeah, they were clean. And in fact, Neil replaced a drummer who was not. The original drummer was an absolute mess, and he was full of drugs, and he was really, really unable to kind of stick with what Rush wanted to do and what Alex and Geddy wanted to do. So Neil came into the equation and he just clicked with the rest of the band. And so they really did kind of come, yeah, Geddy can fuck. Yes, exactly. So Neil Peart was really into fantasy, sci-fi. There's a lot of Tolkien influences and everything else. But so, yeah, I know. And Shane and I and everybody's going to get into a full Rush fucking documentary here. But long story short, Neil very specifically stayed very clean and really struggled with fame. He was a very private person. He wrote these incredible things. He wrote these sort of intellectual type songs. And, Rush, the band, would do them and fans would be like, the people who loved them would really love them. But at the time, before they really kind of hit their stride and hit their radio-friendly stuff, it was like, it was tough. They were gaining a cult following. But for Neil, a lot of it really was, not necessarily drugs and alcohol. It was just expression. But then the flip side of that coin was the more famous they got, the more he was uncomfortable with the attention that came from that. And, lest we get, hi Marco, lest we get lost in Rush, because it's very easy to do. It's one of my favorite topics. I can actually recommend a really well done documentary. It's probably on Netflix. I don't know. But I would get out there and I would take a look for the documentary. I believe it's called Beyond the Lighted Stage, which is, of course, a lyric from, yeah, I know. Neil's life was totally tragic at the end. And you'll learn all about that. Can I spoiler someone's life who's dead? He basically, he lost his wife, he lost his daughter, he was already kind of struggling with what was going on in the band. He literally kind of stopped and said, we can't do this anymore, we can't make music anymore. He got on his motorcycle and he's like, I'm just gonna ride. I love the band, but I am a solitary person and I need to get my head on straight. I've lost my family and everything is confusing and I am tired. So he just did. He just rode his motorcycle. And when he came back, they ended up doing, a couple more tours. But he also was, the strain that drumming for Rush was taking on his body was incredible. When you watch drummers who are so incredibly physical, you begin to fall apart, especially after a career of 30, 40 years. Long story short, Clay's just all about the sadness of crypto. But long story short is that there's some really interesting stuff to be learned about Rush. They did not take the traditional path to fame. And they did very much have a really impactful influence on a lot of progressive metal bands that came after them. So we will move on. because otherwise I'll spend the last half hour of the show literally just talking about Rush. That's all we'll do. And I have more music for you, and all of the tracks are long, which means a lot of these tracks are going to get fucking cut. So that's fine. I will put a couple of extra listening songs on here. I will put Earth Day by Devin Townsend. I will put Toxic Garbage Island by Gojira, just because I want you guys to hear Plastic Bag! Now, I'm going to play something that isn't very metal-y at all, which, happens fairly often, but there are reasons why they go on the playlist. And then we will come back and we will finish up with Windear, which is pretty much some of the best metal going. But in between here, I'm going to play a track by a band called Throssenblatt. Now, it's a ridiculously crazy name. These guys are from Eastern Canada, and what they do is black metal all about nature in Canada. And so when they started out in, 2010, they literally wrote an album called Canada. I've played some tracks off it for you before. And I've actually played some tracks off that album for other reasons too. There was one night where we talked about Neolithic art, and the Gazing Long into the Abyss wasn't actually about vaginas, but it was about passage tombs in Ireland. You may not remember that night, but it was one of my favorite shows. Now, Throssenblatt has written four albums about hiking through the forests of Canada. And in a lot of cases, they write music about, Vikings coming over onto the coast, going back, about early settlers, about colonizers, and then also about people in today's age rediscovering lost places in the forest. And they also have an album called Metatonia. And that album is about how we are moving towards a future that is fully industrial, that is digital, that is electric and computerized, and that there's not as many wild spaces left. And so the idea behind Metatonia is the planet has no more natural spaces left, and the only connections that humans have left is the stars. That's the last connection with nature that humans have. So everything in their catalog, everything in Throssenblatt's catalog would be a perfect fit for tonight. However, I am going to play something. We do. That is like baby goth for sure. So I am going to play something, and I'm going to play something off one of their most recent albums because it's incredibly beautiful. And so in 2019, they actually recorded an album out in the forest. It's literally called Live Off the Forest Floor. And it's some of their songs, essentially, some of their best songs from the previous 5 albums. They went out into the forest with nothing, no amps, no nothing, just some microphones, some recording equipment, and they sat out in the forest and they played 2 acoustic guitars, 2 singers, and that's it. So I thought about playing something from this Live Off the Forest Floor album, but it's a little too acoustic. So I went back one more than that. And the album is called Great Brunswick Forest, and it's written about, back east, the Great Brunswick Forest. And it's beautiful because it pulls in a lot of stuff that you hear in black metal. Blast beats, some, rhythm guitars that are distorted, and some, slight growling and mixed lyrics and mixed singing. But it also, the lead guitars are acoustic. It's a really interesting blend. It's really beautiful. And all of the tracks on it would have been a perfect fit. But I'm going to play one for you tonight that I really like. It's called Thus Spoke the Wind. I'm going to play this for you. And then I'm going to ask you, if you get a chance, I might even throw in an extra. This will have like more extra tracks than tracks make it into the show. I'm going to throw into some extra Throssenblatt tracks for you so you can hear a little bit more. And the more sort of traditional black metal with those awesome blast beats, double kicks, everything like that. So here you go. I'm going to play this Throssenblatt track. God, it's easy for you to say. I only had like 2 swigs of this vodka and I'm already a disaster. Let me have it. Let me get it going for you. My name is Crimson Clad. This is Fullforce Radio, a special Earth Day edition. We're talking about trees and shit.
Becomes fire, still beneath the night, ravens sing, birds of the
go. So I know that's a little weird, but there is so much beauty and power in those songs. And I know when we talk about metal, that's probably not what comes to your mind. And that's A-okay. That's the whole point of this show. And these bastards really do literally just wander out into the forest and play metal unaccompanied by themselves to the trees around them. And there's something about that that is both silly and romantic, and I cannot get enough of it. So I do want to just flip the script, and I want to quickly grab, I'm just going to jump into the middle of a track, because you may or may not actually believe that that is a metal band. Although at the end there, you can hear these fast pick quarter notes. You can hear the blast beats. You can hear these arpeggios, all the things that make death metal and melodeath really cool, but just acousticy. It's a weird take. So just to kind of catch you up with what they do sound like when they are not acoustic. Hang on, let's just jump into this track. 1 sec. They are a metal band. I highly recommend checking out their discography. Okay, so there you go. Now, with that being said, yes, this fucks. It does. There's so much good shit, man. I just go. Check their whole fucking discography. You will not be disappointed. Enjar, hey man, it's so good to see you. I hope things are going well for you. I hope you're making good progress on your games. Excited to see you coming around. Very cool. Lots of people I haven't seen in a while, so that's cool. Yeah, that little teaser hurt your heart. The only reason I'm not including it is because they are one of those bands that loves long songs, and Metatonia and Wanderer on the Continent of Saplings, and even the Canada album, they're all 10-minute long tracks, and we just can't do all of it. Oh, Fox, thank you. Hugs for you too, man. I know when we text back and forth, we often make fun of each other, and sometimes it gets lost in translation, but I hope you're doing well. Did you fix your phone? Okay, so knowing that we don't have a lot of time left in the show, 20 minutes! God damn it. You kind of have these things hotkeyed, Viking Adventure. I will play some more tracks for you. I will play some more foresty metal for you. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put that in the forest playlist as well. So it's growing. It's growing. It's going into the special homework end of the playlist. So knowing that we don't have that much time left, I am going to play something by a band called Finsterforst. Now, Finsterforst is a German band who they literally write tracks. They call themselves Black Forest Metal. That's their whole jam. They write about folklore and fairy tales and being lost out in the woods. Now, these guys are German, so this isn't an English language track, but I'm going to play you a track called Weltenbrand. And this song, hey, Shaka, his arms are open. Oh boy, his arms are wide. It doesn't matter. This is a Star Trek reference. We're not doing Star Trek tonight. But for those of you who are still listening and are still with me and are hopefully enjoying yourself, I'm going to play something by Finsterforst. And it's off one of my favorite albums from 2019 and arguably one of my favorite albums of all time, Zerfall. Now, this track is on this album because it is basically a reminder that we have a covenant with nature. Maybe we have to kind of remember that the things that we do have an impact on our planet. I'm not talking about climate change or anything else. I'm talking about very literally when we go out, we decide to destroy trees, or we pollute water, or we, take away spaces that we are supposed to be sharing with wildlife, that kind of thing. And so that's literally what this track is about. And it's off this album that is incredible. It's orchestral. Temba, his arms wide. Yeah, it's been so long. Temba. So where's Shaka? God, it's been so long. Darmok Angelad at Trinakra. Shaka. So it's Temba, his arms wide. Yeah, I'll have to go back. I haven't watched that episode in so long. I'm over it. All right, so it doesn't matter. You needed some music to keep you awake. Well, you didn't come on a perfect night tonight, because Shaka When the Walls Fell. That makes sense. You didn't come on a perfect night, Enijar, because a lot of the music tonight has been a little more down-tempo, or at least has been kind of weird and foresty. However, We're going to make it. We're going to try and fit 2 tracks in. I can tell you, we're not going to finish on time because I want to play you guys some Windeer before the end of the night. And that is a 13-minute long song. This is a 10-minute long song. Do the math. It ain't going to add up, kids. So it's fine. We'll go into slight overtime on all of the streaming platforms. My name is Crimson Cloud. This is Full Force Radio. It's Earth Day. Listen, we all live on this spinning blue marble out there in space together. Enjoy your time. The planet is amazing. It's beautiful. You're a part of it, and it's exciting. You're constantly being told that you're doing wrong. And you know what? You're doing the best you can. So take care of the people around you. Take care of the earth around you. You will leave a positive mark. I promise you. Let's play some goddamn music. When this track is over, we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit about the schedule coming up for next week's streams. And then I am going to hit you with some sick, sick black metal to end the show. Ah, so fucking good. It's a track called Welton Brand on Full Force Radio. Don't go away. This is the penultimate track. There is still more. Yeah! there you go. That is a 10-minute long track. It's off one of my favorite albums in the world. Yeah, on YouTube I'm moving because I restarted my phone. So, hey, listen, we're coming towards the end of the show. I wanted to play one more track for you guys. So anybody who's willing to go a little bit longer on the streaming media, I will have another for you. But yes, that album I have been recommending to you guys who have been coming here to listen for 2019, end of 2019 to 2020, 2021. Yeah, so for like more than a year now, actually. It's one of my favorite albums. I have played that particular song before you guys before. I've played Ecce Homo, actually, is the one that I play more often because they have a radio edit, a shorter edit for it. But yes, that song is really about the fact that humans are also part of nature. In it, we're only a figure, and we too are subject to its laws. It's a fabulous album. Fabulous. I highly recommend it. It is so good. And yes, I actually played some albums. There are some big fucking dirty trombones, which sounds very rude. Not a rusty trombone, a dirty trombone. And I played it on one of the nights where we did the brass. We were talking about blowing our own horns. Listen, it's almost like I've done a bunch of really great episodes. So, hey, we're coming towards the end of our Earth Day episode. We had a lot of fun. We played some weird shit tonight. The Earth is still turning on the overlay. Yes, my camera did overheat, and I realize why now. Because where I have it positioned today, you can see it's actually in front of my ring light. So my ring light is partially creating heat around it. And then also, my monitor is right here. So my monitor is venting back onto it. Now my monitor is fucking huge. I have a big ass, like 32-inch curved Samsung monitor, not a 34. It's not a G9, it's a G7, but she big. She a thick boy. And heat right back onto it. So hopefully by next week, by Fullforce Radio, I will be rocking the new mirrorless SLR. It will not heat nearly as much, and it will actually probably be positioned a little bit better. I got a wider angle lens, because it can be really hard with the way that I have my studio set up. All these things you don't fucking care about, essentially. You don't care about any of these things. So don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. So long story short is next week we should see some serious difference. We're going to have very short depth of field. It's got a 2.8 lens. It's a 25 mil. It'll look good is basically where I'm going. So we're going to start ramping that up. I have a new mesh net coming, so the internet will be a little bit better, and we'll kind of we'll go from there. So it'll look better. It'll feel better. It'll sound better. Everything's good. Everything is fucking good. Now, like I said, if you do one thing tonight, listen to the entire discographies of like Throssenblatt and Finsterforce. But what I want to end tonight's show with is a track that I have played for you guys before. It's off an album called 1184, and it is a Black Death album from 2002, and it's from this band called Windir. Now, these guys, they would write these incredible songs that really talked about Scandinavian folk music and the mythology and the countryside and just all of the things that kind of made someone in that scene who they were. And I've mentioned this before, the reason that the band used to demand better tasting streams. Actually, and it's funny you say that, Breeze. Also, for those of you who are in the Discord, it's going to cut off in here. So if you want to keep listening, you got to jump to YouTube, Vim TV, Theta, Trovo, where the fuck ever you can, because you're going to get cut off here while I'm talking about this. But so Windir, they literally had the most Scandinavian ending everywhere, and it's actually pretty fucking soul-crushing. So what ended up happening is they had a sort of a multi-instrumentalist. The guy that founded the band went by the name of Valfar. And he was the singer, he was playing a bunch of instruments, he was the heart and soul of everything that Windir did. And truly, he was one with, the sort of countryside that shaped him and his music. And so, absolutely absolutely horrible, is how everything kind of got cut off. And so 1184 was sort of this big expansion for Windear. It used to be mostly just Valfar, maybe some, touring musicians. 1184 was, he brought in more people to the band, and the idea was Windear was going to get bigger, more expansive, more expressive. And this album was the culmination of that. New members and a keyboardist and just clean vocals mixed with like growling, and just everything about this particular album was incredible. And unfortunately, after it was released and before they could do kind of much more, after, I guess, 2003, they put out one more album, but after they could do much more, Valfar went walking in the snow. Valfar went walking in the snow. And, Theta, I'm not streaming to Theta. So yeah, you guys will have to go somewhere else. He went walking in the snow. He was trying to get to his cabin in the winter, just going for a walk. He was trying to go to a cabin, and he decided to walk to it, and he died. He walked out into the deep cold of the Scandinavian winter, and he got lost in the snow and the trees and the darkness, and they didn't find his body till the spring. So then, finally, the rest of the band, after this happened and after they lost Valfar, they decided, well, we can't continue on. This is his piece. Big dicks out for Valfar. But yeah, dicks out, I guess. Oh, Lord. So, long story short, the band ended there because he was the heart and soul of the band, and they really didn't feel like it could go on without him. So he had the most metal of ends, for sure. But I'm going to play you an album called Journey to the End, and I often play it at the end of the show. It speaks to my fucking soul. I mean, it's... yeah. I can't even explain to you how incredible Windear is, but this particular track that I'm going to play for you, it's called Journey to the End. It's a long fucking track. It's like almost 10 minutes itself as well. And it starts out with sort of some really upbeat, classic Norwegian death metal. However, it takes a complete sideways turn. Oh my gosh, I'm very yellow now in the new lighting here. I was going to turn off some lights and kind of get into the Earth Day vibe. But this particular track, at the end of it, it breaks off into this experimental, psychedelic Moog synthesizer solo. And it's almost like kind of what a lot of bands where we started, Carpathian Forest, or, like Ulver, a lot of black metal bands have kind of evolved their sound, and they've ended up actually going in a direction of experimenting with things that are not traditionally black metal. And this track is a perfect example. So I'm going to play Journey to the End for you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me here on Fullforce Radio. It's been an awesome night. It has been an Earth Day extravaganza. The dog out like a light, and like my lights will go out. I'm going to turn the house lights down. You and me, we're going to hang out here. We're going to listen to this last track, and I'll be back to say goodbye to all of you, because this thing is just, I'm glad to play it for you. Anytime that I can fit it in your ears is a perfect culmination to a night. This is Fullforce Radio. I'll be back next week, hopefully looking a little better, hopefully being a little bit more under control. Probably neither of those things. This is where they, like, pump the beat up preemptively. Shit! This was so ahead of its time. Fuck! Yes. If I had thought ahead, I would have set up the giant Earth overlay sooner. There you go. Windear's Journey to the End. It's an incredible track. It is the perfect fit, the perfect fit for the last track of the night. Thanks for hanging out with me here on Fullforce Radio, the Earth Day edition. So yes, if you're watching the overlay, I'm in the dark. I'm turning out all the lights. I got one last light to go here. And there's the majesty and the beauty of the Earth. This is actually part of my screensaver. It's one of the programs that generates this on the fly and actually... Anyways, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But fucking beautiful, man. Fucking beautiful. So... remember, take care of the planet around you. Take care of the people around you. You are absolutely doing good enough. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are here for a good time, not a long time, but that doesn't mean you can't leave nature a little better than you found it. Yes, you can. Now, I will be back next week for Fullforce Radio, but I won't be here for Cyberbuzz on Saturday. So if you are a stream listener and you come to all of the shows, no problem. But I am going to be driving out into the woods myself on Saturday. So I will see you guys on Thursday next. We'll have another great show. The sun has gone down on the planet Earth, and it's going to go down for me now too. Bye.